Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Ricardo Moraes to defeat Mark Coleman. And I'm here to talk about Makhmud Muradov versus Bryan Barberena. Muradov is 25-8, 33 years old. He's got 2 inches of height and 3.5 inches of reach over 34-year-old middleweight Bryan Barberena, who has a record of 18-10. You heard me, Barberena's moved up to middleweight here. Muradov, I'll start with him. He's got 8 losses, 1 via TKO, 4 via submission, 3 via decision. Only a few losses in the last 10 years or whatever, mainly to Caio Borralho and Gerald Meerschaert. Borralho beat him by decision in a closer fight than I expected. I thought if Borralho won, it would have been more dominant. Muradov fared pretty well there, but in the end, overall, he was out-grappled. And against Meerschaert, he was out-grappled in the end, but that was Gerald Meerschaert, really turning it up. He's a better striker than people give him credit for, and if he's able to take over a fight, he's probably going to put you away, and that's what he did to Muradov. Muradov, that was his first submission loss in, I don't know, many, many years, probably close to a decade, but he did have 3 other sub losses before that, and that's one of those things, kind of like with Ishmael Bonfim last month. Sometimes that stuff just rears its ugly head. You know, you think it's a weakness that's been patched up, but it really isn't. And it takes a really savvy submission artist like Gerald Meerschaert to get it done. So that's him as a fighter. On the feet, though, he's a monster. He's got 25 wins, 17 of them via TKO, 3 via submission, and 5 via decision. The guy's a big, strong, mean, powerful, athletic, energetic, diplomatic, I'm just finding fucking adjectives here, striker, and he is a natural middleweight. Bryan Barberena was a slow, unathletic, lethargic, undiplomatic, whatever. He was a fucking, a shittier athlete at welterweight. Now he's moving up here at middleweight, and I don't know. I think this is a tough matchup for Barberena. I think Barberena's only chance of winning is going to be really cardio-based. Just beating Muradov up when he can. When Muradov is, in range and Bryan Barberena is able to time some unathletic counters. I think if he hits the right shots, maybe to the body and whatever, him taking over down the stretch is the plan. But for Bryan Barberena cracking Muradov, I don't know. It would have to be the perfect punch because he's never been Mr. Power Puncher. And for Bryan Barberena submitting him, even though Muradov's submittable, Bryan Barberena, this is not Sage Northcutt at 5-0 or whatever. This is a guy with a lot more experience and a guy that's only, he survived with Caio Borralho in his last fight, which was, really good, even though Borralho, I know he's won most of his fights by decision, but still a very good grappler, obviously. And Gerald Meerschaert, just overall one of the best submission artists in the UFC. Maybe not the best overall grappler, and certainly submittable himself. But as far as submission prowess, that guy's at or near the top. So I think Bryan Barberena is up against it here. He's up against it, probably going to be caught in a stand-up battle, which is where he wants to be. But even there, I expect him to be limited. I'm trying to think about what he gains as a middleweight. Maybe some cardio or something. I don't know. Better chin. Barberena's always had a good chin. He's always had decent cardio, although it's maybe fallen off a little bit. He was TKO'd in round 3 against Vicente Luque and Randy Brown, but those were more sustained beatings, although Luque was just sudden. That was a comeback. But here I think he's really going to be up against it. I don't envision this one going to round 3. I think in one way or another, this is just a bad move. That's what this one is. Muradov is the pick. I think Muradov wins. I bet on him at minus 260. I was very comfortable with that. And I also threw something on the under at plus 110 for 2.5 rounds. Very comfortable with that as well. But, yeah, Muradov, and I think he does get a finish. I'll wait to see the prop bets, but that's how I'm leaning here. I think Bryan Barberena, even though no one's ever steamrolled him on the feet, there's a chance that happens here. And that's what I'm picking. Muradov to get it done via TKO at some point. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit. Check out my other videos.